today, the Senate will vote on Senator Rand Paul's proposal to repeal those authorizations, which provided the legal framework for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And Senator Paul joins us now. So tell us about your proposal and why exactly now you were hoping that it goes through.
Well, you know, had I been here in 2001, I would have voted for the resolution to go after the people who attacked us on 9/11.
Right.
But I don't think one generation should bind another generation to war. I don't think that the resolution in 2001 has anything to do with the 7 different wars that we're involved with now. And so, yes, this is an important day. Today will be the first major vote we have, not necessarily on ending the wars, which I would like to do, but on whether we should even vote on whether to continue war or to end war. So this is a big step forward. For the past several years, even decades, Congress has been avoiding this debate, so I have forced them to come to the floor. We will have a vote. It was like pulling teeth, but we will get a vote this morning.
Senator, this is Ben Smith. Are you disappointed that President Trump, given that I think he shares these instincts, that he said things on the campaign trail about pulling back from this sort of war everywhere, that he hasn't been a vocal supporter of you on this?
Yeah, you know, I think it depends. It's very important who you surround yourself with. And I think the only voices in his ear now are, we can win, we still can win. But there's a very big question that everyone needs to be asking. If President Obama could not win the war or end the war with 100,000 troops, how are we going to do it with 3,000 additional troops? There is no winnable solution. There is no military victory to be found in Afghanistan. That debate needs to come to the forefront because, one, we are nation building. They say, oh, we're going in there and we're going to fight it differently, and it's going to be so much better than President Obama. It's going to be the same, but probably less. And it is nation building. After 15 years, you can't call it anything but nation building.
So would you have us leave? This is Joe. Would you have us leave Afghanistan? Pull all of our troops out?
The sooner the better, but if I were to discuss a compromise, I would discuss a compromise that might include having people on a base in case they were to reorganize, and but not patrolling the streets. We need to, 10 years ago, we need to have quit patrolling the streets and the villages. People will not stand up and defend themselves until they're forced to. The Afghan army has been given billions upon billions. We've spent $1 trillion over there. And if they are not willing to fight for their country, I don't understand why we would continue to fight for their country. Basically, the only thing that people think that will work over there is a permanent occupation. But a permanent occupation also engenders a reaction, and that reaction is perpetual terrorism as well.
Willie.
So, Senator, you sort of led to my question, which was, there's this argument right now in the foreign policy community that Afghanistan should and may look something like our presence in Korea, our presence in Germany, which has obviously been there for more than half a century now. Do you believe that's realistic? Do you believe that's helpful? Because the argument goes, you pull everybody out, the last 16 years of gains are all lost, and the Taliban has a place to reconstitute itself 16 years after 9/11.
I think Afghanistan and Iraq are nothing like Korea or Germany. Korea and Germany are somewhat homogenous communities without sort of a long-lasting, 1,000-year religious sort of anger and animosity and fight within the religion. Korea and Germany don't have that. There also is a difference in that there was complete victory, at least in Germany and Japan, which made it much different. But no, I think that Iraq was never really a country. It was cobbled together by Westerners in a haphazard way, the same way Afghanistan is. And part of the problem with ruling Afghanistan is that nobody really believes that they wish to be ruled in the different sections of Afghanistan. So I don't think it is actually rulable, other than if you want to install an iron fist there. And so, no, I don't think democracy is going to work and to keep Afghanistan together.
Mark Alperin.
Senator, you mentioned Korea. What would President Paul do about the North Korea nuclear and missile threat?
You know, I've been proposing something kind of out the box, at least to get people to think about it. There's a new book out there by Graham Allison talking about the Thucydides trap, you know, a rising China, and is it a necessity that someday there'll be a conflict between us and China? I think one way to avoid that conflict is to recognize China as a power of equal nature to our country, and actually to invite China into Korea in a bigger way. And what I mean by that is, I would say to North Korea, if you're willing to give up your nuclear weapons, to reassure you that we're not going to attack and invade North Korea, we could actually have China become part of an international force that actually patrols the DMZ to give North Korea assurance. Now, that would be in exchange for North Korea giving up and dismantling their entire nuclear weapons program, so it's a big ask, but it would also be a reassurance to have China there to say, you know what, we have no intention of invading, and China is your reassurance.
All right, Senator Rand Paul, thank you very much for being on the show this morning.
Thank you.
And there